Today we're going to explore some building ruins in the forest here near Georgetown, Ontario, that have a very interesting and significant history. In order to understand what these ruins represent, you have to go back in time to 1822, when the Barber family came to Upper Canada and settled in the Niagara Peninsula. In 1837, they decided to go into business for themselves, and they moved to Georgetown and bought a woolen mill that belonged to a George Kennedy. Around 1852, a new paper rolling building was completed, and the mill manufactured a 122 centimeter wide paper. Paper had been made out of cotton and linen rags until 1869, when a pulp mill was added so that paper could be made from oat, wheat, and rye straw. By 1879, wood pulp was replacing straw, and by 1862 they had the largest wallpaper factory in North America. In 1869, a 30-year-old John Rofe Barber took over the mill operation. By 1886, the business had continued to grow, but the plant began to be held back by insufficient water power to run the machinery. So this was back in the days when the only power you had was water. Which leads us to this place. We're about 3 kilometers downstream from the Barber paper mill. When J.R. Barber began thinking about his shortage of power in the mill, the early uses of electricity were limited to a few street lighting applications. No one had thought about generating it and transmitting it across wires for use in industry. He contacted the C.F. Brush Company, an early manufacturer of dynamo equipment in Ohio. Barber contracted Brush to manufacture a 100 horsepower dynamo and a 60 horsepower dynamo, when at that point Brush's largest one had been 30 horsepower to that date. Barber selected a site downstream of the paper mill where he could dam the river and create a head of water 6.6 meters tall. So this height of drop was used to power the turbines that ran the dynamo. So the ruins in front of us here are the dynamo building. It was originally a 3-story structure. The turbines were on the first floor, the dynamo equipment was on the second, and there were living and eating quarters on the third floor for the person who maintained the turbine and dynamo equipment. To the west of the building, a dam was placed across the river, and water was fed into a penstock that split into 2 inlet pipes for the turbines. The water from each of the inlet pipes ran through the turbines, which were approximately 1.5 meters in diameter and located on the first floor. There were the 2 dynamos in operation. A 100 horsepower dynamo sat in the powerhouse, which was an extension on the north side of the building. Little remains of that today, although you can still see the mounting bolts sticking out of the grass here. A 60 horsepower dynamo was mounted in the building on the second floor. Apparently, the 100 horsepower dynamo was used for powering machinery in the paper mill, and the 60 horsepower unit was used for general lighting in the mill. Remnants of the mounting bolts for the 100 horsepower dynamo can still be seen today. Telegraph poles carried the wires between the dynamo and the mill. When the dynamo was brought into service in 1888, it made the paper mill the first industry in North America to use long-distance power over a distance of 3 kilometers to operate its machines. So it continued in this manner until 1913, and eventually the mill was converted to public power. By that point, public power had grown to the point where it could accommodate industrial uses. Looking at these ruins today, you don't really realize how important this was to the development of industry in Canada, but really it's quite a significant location. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this kind of video, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll talk to you again.